Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome back. How is?
Amazing.
You learning every day in college?
Yeah.
Every day?
Every day.
You haven't missed a daf?
I haven't. There are some days I don't do the full daf, but I still open it up every day.
Oh. At least, what, can I get a little faher here about Chatas Chitzai Pnimi?
Tomorrow.
When did you get off the plane?
Last night.
Unbelievable. Welcome back. Wow, that was quick. Rabbi Isai, good news. We have our own phone line that Avremi built. Here's the number in the United States, 605-562-0066. I tried it here in Israel. You could fast forward, you could pause, you could do all these cool things. I never did the phone thing.
Come on, slow down and say the number again. People are listening, they're not watching.
Oh, the people that are listening. I can't go through all the numbers here. In America, 605-562-0066. Try it out. In Brazil, no, forget this. Australia, let's do it for our friends in Australia. 02, like in Yerushalayim. 02. 4018-3914. Boys, very, very good news. You're not going to believe this. Every single daf in Masechtas Menachos was sold out at $1,000 a daf. The reason is, I think, because people want their name forever. The name of a loved one or whatever it is, forever. The only thing left right now are 8 short prakim. The price of the shorter prakim is $5,400. That's the only thing left over for Masechtas Menachos. So Chaparain. As a matter of fact, the naming of the entire Shas is basically taken already. It's between 2 people. We have to decide which one, or they have to decide. And then you have the naming of the Masechtas. The naming, the kids we'll discuss it, but it's unbelievable. People are very excited about this new project. So, Be'ezrat Hashem. On Motzei Shabbos, I took a picture with every single one, well, I don't know if every single one, of the what do we call them? The ambassadors for our satellite locations. The one on my left is Moshe Cohen, and the one on my right, I forgot his name, but he's from Petach Tikva. The guy standing on my right. Bekitzer, that's not what the, you see that it just came out like that in the picture. He has straight lines on his, and then Yisrael Weil, and the guy from Beitar, the guy from Haifa. Bekitzer, it's unbelievable. I'm a Bocher in Lakewood, and I really enjoy your shir regarding your question about Mila being more tada than Karim Pesach. He gives a pshat, Yisrael Yaakov Kravitz. Dear Belly, I started learning with MDY. I've learned 75 daven without missing a day. It really changed my life, and I can feel that my whole day is filled with Torah. I've tried bringing my friends to join. I also started being makri with Shnayim Mikra. Thank you so much. Have a happy Hanukkah from Nuchi Lopian, Manchester, England. Boys, I'm leaving this email on so you can read it with me. I'm not going to read it making fun. I think it's, imagine you had to write an email in Yiddish to a chassid. So, and I spoke to Yossi Klein about this. I said, I don't understand, like, what happened to spell check? Like, you write so many of these emails, you corrupted your own spell check. Like, it doesn't even spell check your emails anymore. So here it goes, from Shulam Friedman. First of all, his name, Sholum Friedman. A Belzer Chassid. Hi, Rabbi Eli. I'm watching Yeshir. They all spell it the same way. Shear. That's already a real word. Since Baba Basran started learning with you, Sanhedrin, and I really love to listen, Lisin, to Yeshirim, whatever, okay. I don't have time to watch the whole thing, but at least a few minutes. A few days ago, you spoke about Emilio, I don't want to go into that. But what I want to tell you is that the strongest point of Yeshir, in my perspective, is the amount of Achdus and Ahavas Yisrael you promote is one in the world. And I think that MDY today, from the biggest Kiruv organizations in the world, not only for secular Yidden, but Firim and Hasidic people as well. Not everyone with a black hat and suit means he has a connection with Torah and Yiddishkeit, and this is from the biggest Kiruv in the world. As a Belzer Chassid, I will encourage you to go to the Belzer Rebbe for a visit and get some good advice, a bracha from him. The reason I'm saying this is because the Belzer Rebbe is known in doing Kiruv when he leads the Tzahar and Yeshiva Torah Ve'emunah and Hidabrut organization, and Ahavas Kdimim, made for the Haimish people that went OTD. So in my eyes, you're considered a Bel Zechusid. And like all the Bel the rabbis always said, a Bel Zechusid is one who learns Havayis Habayi V'Rabbe and Titfa Yidin Vegen. It means one who learns and is helping other Yidin in such times when Yidin in the entire world needs so much chizuk. There's always people that will say on the other people that they are the problem. But instead, you are here to help every single Jew, and I think this is the strongest point of you and MDY. May Hashem give lots of atzlachet, and you should be able to bring more Yidden close to Hashem. You tell me the Bez Chuzah Fin Montreal. Shkoya. Masechta sponsored. David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Imari Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zechron Levracha. That's it? You came for the emails and you left? I love it. Robert Earley, what are you doing over there? Put that siddur away, please. We came in to learn Torah. Masechta sponsored anonymously. You get up, then he's going to get up. I don't want, Sponsored by Scriber Capital, in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Taki, and Shamshi Slavrak for the devotion Torah study in the Shir. Joel Gedalis, Lilishmas, my father, Jack Gedalis. Anonymous, Hatzlach Baruchnis V'Gashmias. Month, co-sponsors, Anonymous from London, Parnos B'Shefa. Monthly sponsors, Anonymous, please down for Rav Shleima. The words was Dad, Arman Chai Sarah. Anonymous Baruch Avelidai, Baruch Tzvinisim, and Shoshana Levi, Yudim Yom Mechava. Anonymous from London, Hatzlach B'Parnosa, Ari Simon, the Refuah, Shleima, B'Moiri, Baruch B'Miriam. He's back. He went for Kibud Aveim, and Bezer Hashem, his father, should have a complete recovery or feel a lot better. Weekly sponsors, Back in Roth family, Lezech Nishmas Yosef and Eliezer Yisrael Gal. How do you spell this? Galud, a Lomzer Talmud who lived Torah his whole life. Double sponsorship, it says here in the top corner. So, in other words, don't worry. Oh, I see. Sprintin Avrumi Gross. In honor of our 30th wedding anniversary, in honor of the wedding of our daughter Esther Simcha Bendel tonight. Yeah, to Simcha Bendel tonight at Chinka Hall. Chinka Hall. That's how you spell. Chinka, right? Chinka. The Chinka Hall in Brooklyn, New York. Looking forward to seeing you all. You're all invited. Our boys say, "Come one, come all." In honor of the 50th birthday of Jonathan Cohen. Have a complete refuah shleima and celebrate many more birthdays. It's always great seeing you at the shir. Keep on daffing. Wish we could be here to celebrate with you, but we have a scheduling conflict tonight. You come in all the way from Beitar every day, together with Aryeh?
I come in earlier.
Oh, that's right. He comes earlier. Yishkar for coming. You add a lot to the shir.
Thank you.
Thanks. Remind me your name. What's your name again? Moshe Rosenfeld. Shkoyach. All the way from Beitar. He comes all the way from Beitar, and there's guys that live on this block that have a hard time coming. How long does it take you to come? A good half hour?
Yeah,
Half hour is depending if you're stuck behind the cement truck. Nefusi's brother-in-law. Daily sponsors of Romy Reich. L'Refuah Shleima Chaim Michal Ben Chana Rus. By Jonathan Austin, Rabbi Sai, the famous Jonathan Austin, in honor of the Chassan tonight of my daughter Tamar to Yair Ashendorf, Mazel Tov. The whole Olam is invited. I don't know to where. MDYR, the Refuah Shleima Yonatan Eitan Ben B'Shem Bracha, the Refuah Shleima Mordechai Ben Esther, the Refuah Sayela Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Sai, here we are in the Tzadik. Oh no. We're holding the Tzadik Beis on Beis. Today, what? Guests. They all look. We have Mordechai. He's not a guest. Who else? Is there a guest? Oh, you're a little bit of a guest.
little bit.
Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Sheldon Zelig,
From?
Englewood, New Jersey.
Englewood. You guys represent. At least once a week. There's a whole chaver here on a trip, no?
Every day.
Oh. Yuval, thank you so much for coming. So we have a sugi of a bunch of very interesting questions, one after another. Here, look at this pasuk for a second. What is this referring to? What kind of chatos? Is it also referring to a bird chatos? So, remind me, I completely, I don't know, I was in a different zone yesterday, and I just didn't show 3 videos that they worked on with the Dovshin Miskaven and a whole, like, garnish, like, after she was like, and not only that, I didn't tell the editors to put, okay, I'll show today if you remind me, in a few minutes. So, Chatas Haif, Shehichnis Dama B'tzavara B'fnim Mal. This is a very interesting question. I'm telling you, if you think about these questions, they're all geschmack. We know that there's no klisharis when it comes to a bird. An animal, you do shchita, and what do you do afterwards? Kabbalah. You have to take a klisharis, you have to take one of the golden vessels and catch the blood. By a bird, there's no such thing. You take the actual bird, and you put the bird on the mizbeach. You swing it towards the mizbeach. You touch the mizbeach. You do azah, you do mitzvah. What's the pshat? Is the pshat that the bird is the klisharis? You don't need a klisharis. How do you view it? If you took the blood of the bird, you took the whole bird with its blood into the heichal, what's the halacha? We consider the neck of the bird itself is what the vessel that holds the blood, and therefore, by bringing it in, the whole bird becomes possible. No, it's similar to the animal carbon. The animal carbon, if the blood is inside the animal, and you brought the animal into the heichal, you could take the animal out of the heichal and catch the blood and do zrika, and everything is good. It's not considered that the blood went in. It's only considered the blood went in when it's in the klisharis. It says by an animal, not if by taking in an animal, the meat, and in the meat is blood. So maybe the same thing by a bird. Toshma, Pirkasa, if this bird was shechted, v'nichnesa lefnim, b'chazra, ksheira. If a bird, after the shechita, jumped into the heichal, it was convulsing, whatever the word is, it was
Chicken with its head off.
convulsing. I don't know, but is that the right word? Is convulsing the right word in this case? Okay, it's convulsing, and it just it had these movements. It started running into the heichal and came and made a U-turn and came back out. The halacha is kosher, and I could infer from this. I could be medayik. Hoichnisa psula. It's because she went in herself. But if you brought the bird in, it would be possible, even though there's no klisharis here and the blood is inside the bird. Says the Gemara, that's not a very good diuk, because then I could be medayik the other way. So let's just see a second. This is Pirchot Salachotz. Let me show you the other one first. I think it starts with the other one. So, but it's the second case. We just brought it from another sugya. Where do you shecht karbanis? The kachi kachim. Where do you shecht them? On the north side of the mizbeach, of the azara. So you have an animal, like what I saw with my own eyes. An animal was shechted, and they don't want to waste time. So a millisecond after the shechita, they release the animal out of the cage, and it drops into a pit, and it bleeds out or whatever. And this animal got up on all 4 and started running around. So pirkus of yatzal adarim v'chazra. No, we're talking about a behema here. Usually behemoths, the ones that I saw had 4 legs. Pirkus of yatzal adarim v'chazra. We're talking about kachi kachim. We're talking about an animal, not a bird. It went to the south side of the mizbeach, b'chazra. Here, something like this. Just so happened to get a pogo stick.
That's what happened.
It went to the other side of the mizbeach somehow. The one I saw was running around so wildly, and everybody was scared for their lives, holding onto machines, and they had to shoot it. It's a whole crazy stuff. It happens. If you go on Google, there's a chicken that they chopped off its head and it lived for 3 days or something. Something crazy, whatever. Ashiken Ashallah, it happened in the 50s and the 60s. Nobody really had a cell phone then, so they don't know exactly, but maybe its head was completely off, maybe not. Right. So it's not 100%, it's 99%. If it went to the south and came back, it's kosher. Now, the truth is that it doesn't have to come back, right? Rashi says it doesn't have to come back. It's just to mimic the lashon of what we just read, that if it went into the heichal and came back out, then it's kosher. Once you do shchita, once you do kabbalas hadam, this animal can go anywhere. And that's what the Gemara is basically saying. Ha'itzia psula. You're going to tell me you want to be medayik that if a human being, after the shchita, after the kabbalas hadam, took the animal from the north, dragged it into the south side of the azara, it's possible? Why would it be possible? You only have to do the avoid in the north. You can bring the animal afterwards anywhere you want. Of course, that's not a good deal. So then, if that's not a good deal here, it can't be a good deal in the first part. This animal went outside. We need it for something else. Now what? That if it went out completely from the Beis Hamikdash, it's no good. So in the ratio also, you can't make any diukim. Boy Rebavin. Another gishmake question. Nishbach ala ritzpa ba'asaf mau. If the blood from the bird spilled onto the floor, what's the halacha? Now, and you gathered it, ba'asafa. You gathered it off the floor. If blood from an animal spills on the floor, are you allowed to pick it up and do zrika? No. If blood from an animal goes into klisharis and then from the klisharis it spills on the floor, are you allowed to pick it up and do zrika? Yes. Because it was in the klisharis. So the Gemara wants to know, what's the halacha with the bird? Is the neck of the bird, it's klisharis. Here, he did some sort of picture here. Like, is the bird, the actual bird, a klisharis? Oh, the golden dove. This is for official, special for official. It's ruchio de le'azrich rachmana klisharis. This is the pshat. You don't need a klisharis at all. Why? So over here you have to stick in. Not that you don't need a klisharis. It itself is a klisharis, like this picture. It is a klisharis. And if the blood falls on the floor, you can pick it up and continue your zrika, your hazah, and your mitzvah, whatever you need to do. Or perhaps, no, it's also to use a klisharis. Therefore, we don't consider the neck of the bird a klisharis. And if it falls on the floor, it's no good. You would think, we learned the Mishnah that the blood of a chatos requires a pasuk. Mishnah. We learned it it's a pasuk, but we learned the pasuk in the Mishnah that if blood from a chatos touches your garment, you must wash off the blood of the chatos. What about a bird? No, Tamalim is zois. There's an exception to the rule. Zois. So the Gemara now asks a beautiful question, and we're going to use this kind of logic on Omid Aleph as well. Here's the blood of the bird, and it spilled. It went flying. We have this blood. Oh, whoa! It didn't even. Oh, it's like anti.
Spicy.
Look at that! Didn't even make it. I didn't even know it's.
Polyester. Yeah.
That was bad. No! Not pitum. Shtusim, don't listen to them. Shtusim.
There's a reason it doesn't tell
I can't even continue now. That was the first time in like 8 years. I don't know. I can't go weiter. I'm stuck.
You look it up.
I didn't even want to look in that direction since you said it. Whoever it is, take him out of the chair immediately. Fine. So, you hear the question? Murdik. As this blood is traveling through the ear, it became possible. Typically, kli means the garment. And it's as if before it actually hit here, the blood became possible. Now, let's go back for 1 second. Blood that's puzzle, we learned in the Mishnah, does not require kibus. It's only blood that's not puzzle. But how could we have a situation that the blood of a bird is kosher before it hits a beged? As it's flying through the ear, the blood of the bird should become puzzle before it hits the beged. So once it hits the beged, it's already puzzle, and we don't have to wash it at all.
What's the psal?
The psul is because it's in the ear of the beged. The beged is not a kli. You have to have. No, we're talking about that if it goes off the floor, right? If you gather it off, you can't. It's puzzle. So the ear, as we're going to see soon, it's kemunach dami. Yeah, the ear space above the kli, as it's flying right over the kli, unless it hits like the front right over. But if it's flying over the beged, at that point, mid-ear, it turns puzzle, and then it hits the beged. It's already puzzle and it hits the beged. Because, right, exactly. The beged is a kli. Beged is a kli, and it's in a kli. Anytime it's in a kli, we just said, if it's in a kli, it's puzzle. No. If this is my kli, if my blood is right over here, it didn't touch the bottom of the kli, but it's right over here, is it puzzle? Yes, because it's in a kli. So I'm over my kli, over my beged, it's puzzle. What? No. It grabs it. The kli grabs it. Y'all see. Have a seat. Omer Rabbanim the Rebbe Yeshua. We can't have people walking around. Those who are in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom. There's a way to do it. You take the kli like this, and you touch the beged, so there's no air space. As soon as it comes out of the bird, it touches the kli. It touches the beged. Fine. Another gewaltige question. Nitas me beged the beged mao. The blood goes from the kli, from a behema. Talking about an animal now. It goes from an animal to a beged, to another beged. Mao. Once it hits the first one, so it's already no good. And therefore, it becomes puzzle. Went to the second beged, you don't have to do kibus. Or maybe, listen to this, maybe, if it's on a kli, on a beged, you're able actually to squeeze it out. And once you squeeze it out and you take the blood, you can continue throwing it maybe. And therefore, the first kli didn't make it puzzle, and you can go to the second beged. And it'll make the second beged and the first beged would have the same halacha. Omar le zu sheila. That's a good question. Now, I know I said this. It's one of my favorite lines of all time. So I have to say it again. Just in case there's one person here that never heard this line, I gotta say it. It's mamish, the top of the top. The Baruch Mordcha. He, Mendy's Rosh Hashiva. There was a guy in the shir that asked him a question. See, he looked at him and he says, what you're asking is not even shtusim. It's not even shtusim what you're asking. That's how bad your question is. 5 minutes go by, and another guy pipes up and asks a question. He goes, oh, that's shtusim. Zu she'ela. Oh, that's a good question. Ton kibus mimonavshach. He said, no, either way, any way you look at it, this garment needs to be washed out. Why? Either if you could squeeze out a beged and grab the blood from there and do zrika, it's kosher, ha-kosher. So you have kosher blood on the second beged, and the second beged needs to be washed. But if you cannot squeeze out the first one, the blood is possible. I know Rabbi Akiva spherely. I hold like Rabbi Akiva. We're going to have Shittas Rabbi Akiva today. We didn't see him yet. We had in the Mishnah, and Rabbi Akiva argued in the Mishnah, that what? That if this blood, as it was traveling through the ear, is a kosher blood, and when it hit your beged, it becomes possible, and you cannot squeeze it out, it doesn't matter, because since this blood was kosher for 10 seconds of its lifetime, so you're right that right now it's puzzle blood, and puzzle blood you don't have to wash, But in this case, you do have to wash the beged. Why? Because it was kosher for 10 seconds of its life. The fact that right now it's not kosher, he holds that if you have blood that was kosher, and then all of a sudden a tummy person touched it, you still have to wash your clothing if that blood touched your beged. So my manav you have to wash this garment. End of the question. Daf Tzadik Gimel Amud Aleph. Now, this question is about a 10-minute answer, and it's gewaldig. But I'm warning you that it goes like till half the Amud here. So you got to pay attention. It's not difficult, but it's geschmack. Boy b'nei Rami bar Chomim Rav Chizda. Rami bar Chama asked Rav Chizda. So just to remind the Olam, who is Rami bar Chama compared to Rav Chizda? Son-in-law. The Olam is holding.
One of two son-in-laws.
One of two, well, at least, yeah. Who's the other son-in-law? Rava. Who was second? Who's this? Rava. Rami bar Chama was first. And Rami bar Chama asked the Shver. No, it just makes it a little bit, it makes it more interesting. Like, you know what's going on. Rami bar Chama asked Rav Chizda, his father-in-law. Nitaz abeged tami mao. This is a geschmack question. Here's the question, and this we have to you have to use logic over here. You have blood that's flying through the air. If the blood is tummy, Levi, hear this. If the blood is tummy, you don't have to wash your garment. The blood is kosher, tar, and it hits your garment, which is tummy. So simultaneously, it became tummy and touched your beged at the same exact time. How do we view this blood? The blood was kosher blood, was tar blood, which if it touched your beged, you'd have to wash your beged. But your beged itself is tummy, and when it touched your beged, it switched into tummy blood. And tummy blood you don't have to wash. So how do we view it? Do you have to wash your beged or not? So it's gishmak. Why? Because we have a similar case where First of all, you have to. Maybe I should have mentioned it before, but we kind of did. Since you're asking such a question, it's so obvious. This blood, Rabbi said, this blood in mid-air it was tar. I don't care what it touched later. I don't care who touched it later. According to Rabbi Kiva, that blood needs to be washed out of your beged because it haisel kosher. For 10 seconds of its life it was kosher. What happened afterwards doesn't interest me according to Rabbi Kiva. Obviously, put Rabbi Kiva aside. There's no question, according to Rabbi Kiva, you have to do kibbutz. I'm talking about according to the Manda Omar that says that if eventually it became tamei, you don't have to do kibbutz, you don't have to wash it. So over here, it touched a tamei beged and it became tamei eventually. But when it touched it, it was still tar. So maybe you do have to do kibbutz. That's only that it became tummy, and then it touched the beged. But maybe if simultaneously it hit the beged as it was kosher, as it was tar, maybe you have to wash it. Like maybe there's no difference. Omar Lei, you're going to love this. The lashon here could spin your head, but I'm going to make it a little easier. I'm going to take out one word. Omar Lei, look to the Rebbe Lazar Rabbanon. There's a machlokes between Rebbe Lazar Rabbanon. Aliba the Rabba, according to Rabba, or the commentary it's Abaya. And as Abaya answers. So first of all, we got to get rid of the word Rabba. Because Rashi says, as we see in the Sugya, Rabba was defeated in this case. But Rabba was Abaya's Rebbe. Abaya grew up by Rabba. So to give him honor, we say that's according to Rabba. So let's do it again. It's machlokes Rebbe Lazar and Rabbanon, like Abaya answers. Okay? Ukudim tires Abaya. Fine. So let's get into it. This is also very interesting. I'm telling you, the sugi is gewaldig. I love this stuff. You have the meichatos. Somebody went to Levaya, touched a dead person. You have to sprinkle him with paraduma water. Not to be confused with dam chatos, which we're also discussing in the same, next to each other. They whatever the word is. They mimic each other.
Correlate.
They correlate to each other. Thank you. They correlate to each other. That kind of stuff I love, Ari. Schmack. They correlate to each other. So you have. We could train. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's getting better.
Because he wasn't here for 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought he was okay. Look at Avi. Avi's up and he's just smiling to himself. Look, things could change. Things happen.
Don't wake up the
No. Aryeh. All right, so we have, no, but seriously, don't get confused between dam chatos and mei chatos. Mei chatos is referring to paraduma water. Dam chatos is the blood that comes out of a carbon chatos. Mei chatos. We know, anyway, I'm just going to throw this in because this has nothing to do with the sugya. Mei chatos itself, the one that sprinkles, it becomes tameh. The one that gets sprinkled gets tar. But what if the mei chatos itself is tameh chatos? It's tameh. A dead person touched the mei chatos itself. A sheretz touched it. Does it have the power to make somebody tar or not? Mei chatos shenitmu mitarim. So we're going off a little bit, and we're going to come back to our question. Our question is, dam chatas, which was tahar, and in midair, and then it touched a beged that's tameh, is it considered tameh blood or tahar blood? So now, we have mei chatas that for sure is tameh. It became tameh. It has the power to make a person tar. How do I know? Sharei nida, mazin olel. A woman who herself is tameh, she herself is tameh, she could get out of she has two tumas going on here. First, she went to Levaya, and she herself is a nida. So you could sprinkle her with mei chatos to get rid of the tuma of mace. All she needs to do is eventually, when she can, she'll go to the mikvah and she'll remove both tumas. Just like a regular person who goes to Levaya has to go to the mikvah. She'll also go and get rid of tumas mace, tumas nida in the same time. But don't say that the water that hit her in the face became tamei tumas nida. Even if it did, it's good enough to be mitar. So you see that water that's tamei has the power to make a person tar, because obviously when it hit her, it became tamei. Almost anything that touches her becomes tamei. If she sits on a couch, the couch becomes tamei. So certainly the mei chatos, when they touch her, they become tamei. Yet they have the power to make her tar. So you see that even something that's tamei to begin with, if the mei chatos were tamei to begin with, they also have the power.
What do we need it for? Why not every single tummy person that gets
The tamei maze, no, that's the Torah says. The Torah said that's how, no, the Torah says that's how you become tar. So I'm not going to ask you a question on that. But the nida has a side tumah that you cannot cure with chatas water. So she remains tamei after the chatas water. Is she tamei? Is she still a nida? Yes. So that means the water that hit her is for sure tamei.
There's no raya that you could make somebody tar from that water. That's not the raya.
No, I am bringing a raya that she becomes tar. It removed her tumas mace. It had the power to remove the tumas mace, even though the water became tamei tumas nida when it touched her. V'amar Rabbo, Rebbe Lazar, B'shitas Rebbe Kiva, Rabbi Amara. Rebbe Lazar goes like his Rebbe. The Omar, Havaras Kli, Agave Mokim Tamei Kimunach Dami. This is beautiful stuff. Well, I'll demonstrate this here now. Here, give me this for a second. Hello. This guy. Shkoyach. We're going to use this as a demonstration, we're not talking about a mikveh here. Let me just show you what we're talking about real quickly. This is it was a long video. It's condensed into 10 seconds. But basically, this is in I forgot what is it called? Georgia, somewhere in Russia over there. They make these thousands of these breads. Each one is handmade. I don't know why they didn't have the cheese there yet. I don't know. And then they have these taboons, and they literally go in. Their whole body goes into it to place the bread inside. It's crazy. Imagine if the guy falls in there. The fire usually, his whole body's in there. This is how they used to bake in the time of the Gemara. And the breads are on the wall. And we're fast forwarding it, right? Two at a time to take it out. Great. Where's the opening to this oven? On the top. So we're talking about that there's a sheretz on the top inside this oven. So here's the sheretz. This guy is dead, and we're going to pretend this is an oven. It doesn't matter. It just means in a box. So we'll put the sheretz over here somewhere like this. Whoa! I might have broken it. Okay.
On the wall or the airspace?
No. It's inside the mikvah. Inside this. It's inside this. Okay. This is an oven. Sorry, this is an oven. Here, we'll go like that. Okay, you see him? Okay. Now, there's a cup of water over here, and this is a window. Yeah, you could maybe I'll turn it a little bit. You can see it. This is a window right over here. So my hand goes in through the window, and I grab this water, and I'm going slowly, slow motion, just so you see. I just passed over the sherets, the oven that has a sheret inside. Now everybody remembers Kluta Kimisha Hunchadamya. Back in the day, I actually showed a football player or an athlete that took a football, an American football, tossed it, I don't know how many yards, 50 yards, and this guy's a speedster. He ran and he caught his own pass. But I don't even know why. Fine. So if you say Kluta Kimisha Unchadamya, we don't have to use that lashon, but the point is that as it's flying over, it's as if it rested. In every moment it rests. Halachically it rests. It's as if you put it down. So it's as if I put it down right into the oven, and now everything in my vessel over here becomes tameh. Even though I'm flying over the thing. What does that have to do with us? Because by a nida also, and in our sugya also, as it's flying over the nida, it becomes tameh. It's as if it landed on your hand. It became tameh. The blood, as we discussed before, the same idea. The blood, as it's flying over the beged, it's as if it rested on the beged, and forget, it didn't have to rest. It's as if it rested. Every time it's flying over, it's as if it rested. When you're flying over Harabais, it's as if you're walking on Harabais. It's also for you to do that. Yeah? Well, I don't even know if you have to come on to that, but you get the idea. So let's see it inside. Just an interesting story that has to do with an oven, because we said oven. So Rebbe Chaim Meisel, the Rav of Lud, what? Rebbe Chaim. He knocks on a door of a wealthy guy very late at night, and the guy opens up the door. It's freezing cold. Imagine right now, like in Lakewood and in New York, it's snowing and the whole thing. Chicago, it's like 14 degrees there today. Yeah, we live in Eretz Yisrael. Nobody's wearing coats. 14 degrees, not Celsius, Fahrenheit. But in Europe it's even colder. He knocks on the guy's door, and he says, "Oh, the Rav, come inside." He says, "No, I want to stay outside." So he gets to the guy, okay, puts on a thing, and they're schmoozing about this and that, and the guy says, "I can't, Rebbe, I'm shivering. Can we go inside?" He says, "Not yet. Now, one more minute." And guy, "I can't, Rebbe, I can't. I'm going." So he says, "That's exactly why I'm here. I'm here because the aniyim of the city, they don't have firewood. They don't have money to pay. But if I would schmooze with you inside, you wouldn't feel it. You wouldn't. I need to be mamchish here, like this, like hands-on. Now you see what it means to live without fire, without heat." Oh, and the guy went and he gave him whatever it was. 9 months later, he is very much in his parnasa and the whole thing. Okay, so he is standing by the window, and there's a sheretz in the oven. We're getting to the Rabbi. I told you, it's going to take a few minutes to get to the raya over here. He stuck his hand in, and he grabs the lugin, and he takes the water, and it goes above the opening of the oven, which we saw the opening of the oven is on top. Rebbe Kiva metama v'chachamim metarim. The machlekes Rebbe Kiva and Chacham. Ubahapli, and the machlekes is whether the water inside this vessel became tummy mid-ear. The Rebbe Kiva savar kimunach tummy. Rebbe Kiva holds halachically, as something is flying through the ear, move through the ear, it's as if it is placed down in the oven. And the Mela Rebbe Lazar holds like Rebbe Kiva that by nida also the water as it's flying over is as if it touched her, and it became tameh. And nevertheless, it has the power to make her tar, even though they're tameh. So you see that water that became tameh to begin with has the power to make somebody tar. Rabbanan hold the opposite. It's not as if it rested, and there's no raya to nida. Basically, Abaya asks the question, wait a minute. This is not a good case. Why? He says there's a difference between what type of tumah. There's a very severe tumah that creates tumas oil, What creates tumas oil, Rabbi Sai? And first of all, what is oil? Oil is, let's say there's a dead person. I just gave it away. There's a dead person in the room. The entire room becomes tamei. If there's a roof, it spreads everywhere. It's like a disease. What else could do this? What else has the power to make an entire room tamei? Betumas oil? No, not nida. Mitzaira. A stone from a Mitzaira house that has tsaras on it. That, if you go over it, yishkoyach, he says. The power of the tumah goes upwards. It constantly hits planes. It does everything. The guy, you remember that picture of the guy I showed you? He jumped into a plastic bag when he was on the plane, the kohen, because he wanted to protect himself from the tumah as they're going over a cemetery. I think it was actually Rav Zilberstein told him to do it. He didn't look weird at all. He was in a plastic bag on a plane. What's wrong with that? What?
He was of the Yosef.
Yeah?
For 10 years. 10 years, anyone from England wasn't able to fly because the route he was taking would go over the first by Lud.
Rabbi Schoenberg. I saw the picture. I showed the picture in Shir. It was a bag.
It's a body bag.
We didn't want to burst his bubble.
Right. It was a bag that they made into a kli. But it was a bag. He's in a bag. Would you like to have dinner, sir? Whatever. Okay. Here. Okay. Anyway, I got a mishkim of Moshe Tomei. I got a mishkim of Moshe here. Rabbi say here. This is a zav. A zav has superpowers that if he sits on a mattress, even if it's 10 mattresses, they all become tamei. His kalim, the stuff he wears. So, yeah, this is from Nidarim. This is old stuff. I got tamei. That if the mattress is tamei, she tahira. Anything that goes above it is tahir. Only if it's the mace that creates oil. And anything else, such as mitzaira, liasui, even amugas. This comes to include the even amugas. Here we go. Even amugas. This even creates. So Mela, he asks. Over here we're talking about a mouse. A mouse doesn't have the power of oil. So just because it went over it, it's not going to become tamei. Oh. That's not the machlokes if it says if it's resting or not resting. There's another machlokes. Oh, Rabbi Sai, think about it logically. I'm concerned maybe it's going to rest. Maybe you're going to put it down. That is only as far you could say if the liquid is in a kli. So as you're going like this, maybe I got tired and I put it down. Maybe I feel like putting it down. But what if it's liquid that's airborne? It left my hand. I went like this. I sprinkled the dam. I sprinkled the hazah. I can't manipulate it anymore. I can't control it. But we're not talking about kimunach. The Gemara says we're not arguing about kimunach. It's a gzeira. Am I going to put it down? There is no gzeira that I'm going to put it down. Once it left my hand, I can't put it down anymore. Maybe you're going to put it down. But if it's sprinkled, the kiva the navak, once it left his hand, it left his hand. And here we go. Rabbi said. What was the question? Let's go back all the way to the top of the Alma. Rabbi Chum asked his father-in-law, if you have tahar blood that touched tamei beged, what's the halach of this blood? Is it considered tamei or tahar? Does it need to be washed or not? And now, Rabbi Elazar, what's their source of the machlokes? Abaya, bedanin tuma keduma mituma sheba isasha kamifli. This is not hard; it's just hard words. All it means is the mechatos, the para aduma water that was tamei already. Can we learn it from mechatos that's not tamei yet, but became tamei as it touched the nida? Again, can I learn blood water that's already tamei from water that's not tamei but hit a tamei person? Can I learn that? Can I learn one from the other? Are they the same? And this is very important. Rabbi Isai, pay attention here. Blood, water, it's all the same, blood and water. Liquid that was tummy before, is it like liquid that simultaneously touched something that's tummy? Are they the same? And if they are the same, then it goes both directions. The one that's tummy before is like the one that touches something that's tummy and becomes tummy now. And the one that touches something that's tummy now is like the one that's tummy before. It goes in both directions. So in Mela, he says like this. Marsav Ardanim. Rebbe Lezer holds that you learn one from the other. They are both the same. And in Mela what? So now going back. If the Mechatos that became tummy before is like Mechatos that's tar in the ear. And it touches the Nida, becomes tummy then. So then we have to go the reverse also. That what? That dam chatos that touches, that's tar, and touches an atomic beged, is the same as dam chatos that was tummy before. Rabbi said, what's the halach of dam chatos that's tummy before? No kibus. You don't have to wash it. That's the answer to your question. Finally, we got to the answer. You asked the father-in-law, and then it's a big cheshbon that the father-in-law had to do, Rav Chizda. So Rav Chacham says, we have blood that's kosher, tar, hits clothing that's tameh. What's the halacha? The halacha is, it's exactly as if it was tameh already before. And tameh already before, the halacha is, doesn't need to be washed. Umar Savar ain't done him. Okay. Rav Amar, just two more lines of the sugya, and then we're getting to really easy stuff. Rav Amar, the kuliyama ain't done him. Rav says, no. That's not the shaila here. This is also a beautiful chap. I said yesterday in the Hebrew shir, there's a nice chap. So there's a Sephardi guy, Yitzchak Yehuda, the drummer. He says, Harav, what's a chap? What does chap mean? So I don't know how to explain it, dude. You're just gonna have to. We said it's havraka. It's like a cool. No, havraka. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. The toss. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. No. It means
translation,
havraka.
Epiphany.
Not epiphany. A cool catch. A catch. Like the. No. A catch. You hear? It's a good catch. It's a good chap. Anyway, listen to this chap. When I say it, then you'll chap what the chap is. Chap means to understand. It also means a good chap. But anyways, a what? No, it's not a tfisa. No, so you didn't chap what we're talking about. Listen to this. Mechatos, the para aduma water. Let's say you need 10 milliliters. Let's say there's a shiloh. Do you need any? It could be a mashu, one drop. One mandama says you need a shear. Let's call it 10 milliliters. So let's say you pour it on a person, only 5 milliliters. Then you give it another zetz, another 5 milliliters. There's another shear. It's mitzaref. 1 and 1 equals 2. You get this full share. 5 milliliters equals 10. Here's the problem. She's a nida. 5 milliliters hits her. And then another 5 milliliters hits her. Boom, it's mitzaref, it's good. Problem. The 5 milliliters that hit her, they for sure became tummy now. How does it combine with another 5 milliliters that are tar? Is the haraya, it must be that the 5 millimeters that hit her, they do become tummy. And tummy chatas water is good enough to make her tar. That's the chap. So, it's a chap, it's a catch. Like, you wouldn't think about it on your own. First of all, I'm saying that you need a shear. You need 10 milliliters. And I'm also telling you that that you could do it in 2 different times, and they get together and they work together. Rabbanan Savri, Hazah, Ein Tzrich Shear, not true. You can't bring a raya from her because even one droplet would make her tar, and it's not a raya that tamei water works to be mentar. Okay, brand new sugya. Let me just show you these real quickly because they worked hard in it. This one I didn't want to show because it has nothing to do with the sugya. It was a little bit of a mistake in understanding. Let me preface it so that nobody gets confused. I didn't want to show it, but it's so good. It like works so well, and its pajamas are so beautiful. I really hope they give this out in the Shabbaton. The MDY PJs. It's chashiv. So basically, he's trying to show Davar Shein Miskaven, but he ended up showing a Misasik. Misasik means that he didn't mean to do it, but that's not that's the literal translation of not Miskaven, but that's not what not Miskaven. Not Miskaven means I want to do a mitzvah of pouring the wine on the fire, but I don't want the outcome of shutting off the fire, turning off, extinguishing the flame. Here we go. It's so like realistic. It's crazy. MDYPJ.
גם איתי שחולים על היומי לא מוותרים.
Time to learn Torah.
לא מכובד לאברך כמוני להתודבב בבית בפיג'מה. עשה נשים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. אוי ואבוי.
Okay, this is better. This is Davar Shein Miskaven, but look at the background. Like there's like real pictures of people. It's Meshuggah.
עכשיו הפתילות מעובבות ומעודרות לנרות חנוכה.
This is Melacha Shetzrich Legufa. He's trying to make what do you call it? Oh, this is. Look, took off his mustache. Over here, he's turning off the flame because he doesn't want light in the room. And not because he's turning off the flame. He'd rather not have the fire there. Okay, fine. That's a different time. It's a Sorogim after Sukkot, but okay. Chatas Psula.
Now I don't understand.
Did I just reconfuse you guys?
What was that from?
It's Davar Shein Miskaven, and Miskaven. Fine. Chatas Psula. Chadas Psula. Torah about a midama. Midam ksher v'lo midam psula. If it's puzzle blood, you don't have to wash it. Why? Because it says midama, it's a miut. Rabbi Kiva oima hoysel shasa kosher v'nifsal. Here's finally Rabbi Kiva that says that if the blood was kosher for a moment, and then only afterwards it became puzzle, dama, ton, kibos. We have a list here if anybody wants to see the list. Here's the bloods that were kosher, but only afterwards they stayed overnight, so they became puzzle. A tummy touched it, or went outside the Beis Hamikdash. But if you have a thought of chutz zman, chutz makom, or a puzzle kind received it, then it's puzzle immediately. It never had a shasa kosher. Shasa kosher v'nifsala and became puzzle and damaton kibos. Then you don't have to wash the clothing. That's in the Mishnah. That it doesn't matter if it was kosher for a moment or not. Ein damaton kibos, because right now this chatas is puzzle. So the clothing doesn't need to be washed. My time of the Reb Shimon, where did Reb Shimon get his svara? Ksiv oisa uksiv midama. Oh, thank you. Oisa is a miut, midama is a miut. Two miuts. Chad lehecha da oisa shasa kosher. And one comes to say that even if it was kosher for a moment, you don't have to wash the clothing. Reb Kiva oisa prat truma. That when it comes to truma, this we had yesterday. That first of all, here this psukim pasuk chaf midama. Pasuk Chav Beis Oisa, and there's a concept called Merika Shtifa that when you have a chatos, you have to wash out the kli. That doesn't apply to truma. If you have truma cooked in a pot, you don't have to wash the pot out. Reb Shimon Tamei, the Amar Kachim Kalim, ain't tuning Merika Shtifa, the Kolchkin truma. Reb Shimon holds that. Listen to this: a shlamim cooked in a pot, you don't have to wash the pot. So certainly not truma. Kachim is more Kaddish than Truma, and you don't have to wash the pot of Kachim Kalim, so you certainly don't have to wash the pot out from Truma. I don't need a puzzle for that. Givaldi. Says the Mishnah, Nitaz min atzaber ala beged einoi ton kibos. As we all know, that only blood that was in the klisharis, you have to do kibos, not if it comes directly out of the neck, min hakern, min hayisoid. If it hit the mizbeach and popped back onto the kli, onto your beged, you don't have to do kibos. Umin hayisoid, Rabbi said, what does min hayisoid mean? You should think about this for a second. Min hayisoid means not that it hit the actual mizbeach, it's in the kli, ready to be poured onto the shirayim, onto the yisoid. Ain't a ton kibus, you don't have to do kibus. In other words, it has to come from a kli sharis. Nishbach ala ritzpa, v'asafa and ton kibus. If it's spilled onto the floor without a kli, then you don't need kibus. So then the question is, why does the Mishnah have to continue now? Ain't ton kibus elodam sheniskalba b'kli v'roy lazah. Why does the Mishnah have to say that when we're ready? The whole Mishnah is talking about that it has to come out of a kli. The Gemara is going to address that on the base. I would think that if it comes right out of the neck, you have to do kibus. No, asher yiza, you have to. It has to be something. It has to be something that you could sprinkle, and you could only sprinkle when it's from a kli. I would think that if it bounced off, it ricocheted off the mizbeach onto your beged, you should have to wash it. Not if you already sprinkled it on his back and it ricocheted back. Let's just turn to this. We could say turning of the daf sponsor. Why does the Mishnah have to say put it all together at the end? Says the Gemara, it's not saying it again. It's an explanation to what we said. Why is it if it's spilled on the floor and you gather it, you don't have to do laundry, you don't have to launder it? Because in order for something to be chayev bekibos, it has to come out of a kli. Sponsored by Adar Global Special Experts in International Payments, Stephen Schwartz, the Nishmois, my parents, Million J. Schwartz, former owners of Arnes Deli, Lakewood, New Jersey, Rabbi Side. I pray that Chanukah have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.